Go for it.
So, welcome to the Python TDD and Koans tutorial. I'm here to introduce to you Greg Malcolm, who will be your speaker. And in case you're wondering, Greg Malcolm's accent actually is pretty real. So, it's not fake. So, here you go, Greg. Good luck.
I've been working on it all week.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to Python Koans. For any of you not familiar with Python Koans, it's basically a tutorial for learning the whole of Python 2 or Python 3. There's two variations. It's pretty much actually my only involvement I've had with Python. I tend to do Ruby and Rails by day, but I kind of learnt Ruby by doing the Ruby Koans, so I thought it'd be fun to try convert them over to Python. And the way they work is, things a little bit different about this kind of workshop is the whole thing is a test suite where it tests the entirety of Python, only every single test pretty much is broken. So this whole workshop has a kind of TDD bent to it, so I probably ought to explain what TDD is to start off with. So TDD is a process for developing software in small iterations. Concept is you basically mix design, implementation, and a little bit of testing all in each cycle, and makes everything makes big problems break down into nice small problems. So the process is described as red, green, refactor. So for red, you write a failing unit test that describes what you want to do. Now, initially it won't work because you won't have written the code for it. So green makes it pass. And then, now if you were to iterate between red and green, you'd end up with a lot of code that was pretty ugly. So in between that, you need to clean it up, refactor it, make it sane. So a quick demonstration of that. So supposing, for example, who's seen Monty Python Holy Grail? Who hasn't seen it? Afraid you guys might find this a little confusing, but try and bear with me. So supposing I'm writing an application that's creating a game, text adventure, based on Monty Python's Holy Grail, and I'm in the process of implementing the Sir Lancelot character. So the next assigned decision might be, Sir Lancelot needs a favorite color. So I'll start by writing a little test using unit test. Unit test is built into Python, so it's great for the example. So you can tell. So it starts off with test underscore, which is kind of something that unit tests tend to prefer you start with. And I've got this Lancelot object, and I'm asserting that if you run the method favorite color, the result will be blue. So that will be my failing test. And it will fail horribly because I have not written a favorite color method. So I've run the test suite, and we've got this horrible, scary error down here. So next step. Make it pass. So the question you always ask yourself is, it's all about small iterations. What's the simplest possible thing I could do to make this test pass? And I guess it's write a function that returns blue. Doesn't get any simpler than that. So I now have a favorite color that returns blue. Now, admittedly, that might be a bit simplistic for some things, starting with a constant like that, but as you write more tests, you can flush out more design aspects. So run that. Yay! Got a green. Got a little moment of happiness on each iteration there. And finally, clean it up. So I've actually got two characters that have pretty much the same kind of code. Lancelot and Robin. So Robin's favorite color, of course, is blue. No yellow. Which really only makes sense if you've seen the film. So I might decide to refactor that so they're using the same class. So I'll get rid of Lancelot class, get rid of the Robin class, and refactor it until I have this Knight class. And I'll basically get that test passing again with that example. So that's kind of rushed through example, but so today we're not so much going to be doing TDD as the complete reverse, because Python Koans is a suite of broken tests. So we're going to take this concept of red-green refactor and turn it upside down a little. So on red, instead of writing a failing test, we're going to see a failing test. Green, we're still going to make it pass. On the purple, the refactor, we're going to reflect on what we've learnt. So I'll give a little demonstration of how you get set up for that. Has anyone here got Windows? No one? Nobody with Windows? Well, apart from Max at the back there. But okay, I guess I'll demonstrate this on the Mac then. So first off, you need to grab the project. It's on GitHub. If you have any of those cheat sheets lying around, it will tell you the URL. But you basically need to you can go on GitHub, search for Greg Malcolm / Python Koans. There's a few faults that are out there, so make sure you have the Greg Malcolm version, otherwise you might end up with someone's answers instead. If you have Git, you can do a Git clone of it. You might want to do your own fork if you want to push up your own answers to your own branch, but otherwise you might want to just take the Git read-only version so it doesn't actually ask you for a password or anything. If you don't use Git, that's not a problem. You can just grab the zip, which is what I'm going to do for the demo. Oops, haven't connected to the wireless yet, I think. Yeah, it's defaulting to the wrong one. Need some elevator music while it connects. Say again? The agree button. I agree. Oh, you mean I have to read this? Yeah, I watch South Park, so I should know that I need to read these agreements, but... Well... Horrible things can happen if you don't read it. Horrible. Okay, now it's downloading. I can see it down here. So, now we have the code. I need to unzip that. I'm going to do this from the terminal. So I'm going to go to my downloads folder. But I'm just going to run this from I'm just going to run Python Koans from the downloads folders for convenience. So somewhere in here. Oh, are you there, Python Koans? I guess not. I don't know where it downloaded to. Well, you know what? I'm just going to cheat. I already have it downloaded. So once you get downloaded and unzipped, just going to make sure that's reset. Alright, if I have problems, I'll just cross that bridge when I come to it, I guess. Okay, once you download it, you'll need to access it from a terminal or the command prompt if you're using Windows, Max's case. You've got a choice there between going to the Python 2 or the Python 3 folder. So I'm going to do Python 2 for the moment. Does everyone know the difference between Python 2 and Python 3? The main difference is Python 2 is currently the more mainstream version of Python. Python 3 is the newer and better version, but most frameworks haven't switched over to it yet. So most of the Python world is still on 2. But if you already know Python 2, this is a good way to try out the features of Python 3. So, but I'm going to go with the easy approach, so I'm just going to go with Python 2 for now. So inside here, we have a little Python file called contemplatekoans.py. So because it's a Mac, I can just run it by doing Python space contemplatekoans.py. On Ubuntu, it might be Python 2, I'm not sure. If it's Windows, you're going to have to do the full path of Python, which would be something like /py27/python.exe for contemplate koans. So I'm running that. Oh, good, it's on the first one. So it started with the first unit test, and it says, test assert true has damaged your karma. The reason why is assert error false is not true. And the reason for it is in yellow here. It's according to this file, it's got a test on line 13 saying it's asserting that true is false. Now, is true false? Probably not. So what I need to do is edit that file. So if you're in Windows, I'd probably just go to Explorer and navigate your way there and use something like Notepad++. Don't use normal Notepad wherever you do, because it will look weird. But as this is a Mac, I'm just going to use gvim. So that'll be in the Koans about asserts file. And line 13, here we are, here's the perpetrator. So I'm going to fix this unit test here. Make that assert true is true. I have high hopes for this. So I'll run Python contemplate koans again. Look at that, we've got some green. And unfortunately, there's another failure to take its place, which actually looks very much like the first one. So it seems to have a little extra message here saying, this should be true, please fix this. And that's on line 19. So that's almost exactly the same. By the way, for the more advanced developers here, don't worry, it gets much harder than this. Just starting off really gentle. As this gets more complicated, there'll be some problems where you look at it and it won't necessarily make a lot of sense. What I recommend for when that happens is fire up a Python console. We're just running Python, however you run Python. And you can try out whatever it's trying to attest. So in this case, 1 + 1. Shocking enough, if I run that, I can see that it's giving me 2, which might seem like cheating, but you learn through cheating in this case. So, if you haven't already, I'll give it a go. Is anyone stuck? Need help yet? Awesome. Give me a yell if you need any help. Ah. Yeah, how's it going? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, yes. Yeah, so the yellow part is where the error is.
Correct.
So what do you usually use for editing code?
Gedit.
Gedit, yeah. So you do gedit, and this you're actually in the Python 2 folder right there.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you do koans/about asserts. Yeah, so if you edit that, and it's saying that error is on line 13.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Each time around it will tell you where the new error is.
13, yeah. So you just change that.
Correct. Cool. Oh, no, I missed something. You're welcome. Yeah, I probably should have showed the one more test there, because when you get to the next one, which is the third test in, at this point, we start to see this underscore underscore notation, where it's saying underscore underscore should equal 1 plus 1. Now, this is actually a variable that returns the value fill me in. It's just a big hint that basically you're filling in the answer. So obviously replace underscore underscore with the correct answer and your test will pass. There's a lot of this in the Koans. Fill me in. In the code. For example, I think the third test, you're seeing underscore, or do you mean where's it defined? It's hidden in the Koans folder files. I think it's, yeah, normally people wouldn't care, but it's hidden in, I think, source under a class called Koans. Not close, but not precise. I've ported across all the Ruby Koans that made sense to bring across, and I also added content that was specific. I did. Yeah, it's my way of learning Python. Yeah. So you'll find stuff about generators, for example. There's, I think, a module I'm particularly pleased with about multiple inheritance talked through Spider Pig. There's a few differences there, but obviously my Koans aren't probably as good as Jim Wyrick's ones. The guy's a master. That was a fun exercise. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're trying to find underscore underscore. I think it's in. I think it's a Koan.py or something like that.
So is that supposed to be obvious for running the?
No, it's not. It's more like magic behind the scenes to make this good. It's. I guess I could have put text and said fill me in, but I was kind of mimicking the style of Ruby Koans. Mm-hmm. No, it's in source folder. I haven't seen it in a while.
What source folder?
Maybe I've got that wrong. I haven't looked at it in a long, long time.
We're going to fix that. We have to find that, right?
You don't actually have to fix that at all. I think I might be taking off at a tangent here. I think I've confused you, sorry. Let's start again. If we go back to the code, yeah, what I'm saying is in about asserts.py, you'll see this line of code,
Yeah.
and you just have to completely replace the underscore underscore.
Oh, rather than fixing what this is bound to,
Right.
you want us to just change that.
Correct.
All right.
I'm sorry, I took you up a massive tangent there.
All right,
I
so
over-explained.
that would not be fixing the code.
All that's explaining is
That's
why that
fixing-
shows fill me in.
That's not fixing the code, that's fixing the test.
Yes. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, in case I didn't make that really clear. When you come across underscore underscore, I'm not saying you have to find out where it's defined. I'm just saying completely replace it. Delete, in the first case, delete it and turn it into 2. That's what I mean. Okay. Basically, I think some of the bigger frameworks like Django, basically, the thing about Python 3 is it's not backwards compatible entirely. I mean, one example is in Ruby, if you create a class, in Ruby 2, you always had to make it inherit from object. Ruby 3, they got rid of that. There used to be kind of types and classes, and they kind of consolidate it into one thing. They had basically some big architectural changes. Now, the effort to change all the code bases to that is quite immense, apparently, for the big code bases. So it's been, I think everyone's trying to convert it over, but it's it's taking a long, long time. So most developers are still using Python 2. Also, some of the juiciest bits did get brought back to Python 2 in the form of Python 2.7, or probably a couple of other iterations like that. But they can't bring back everything, backport everything to it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying this on exceptions, but when I run it in console, I don't get exception.
Oh.
And
Ah.
it's a new attribute there.
Yeah, that might be it. Fortunately, that's a little bit trickier to reproduce. Attribute error. Oh, right, yes. So it's basic.
Did I need to import something to bring in none?
Could you make the text a little bit bigger for me?
Maybe.
I'm struggling to read that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think something like command plus even command minus probably does it from the console. But okay, so the thing you're trying to run was, oh yeah, you're trying to run that. So basically, so you're looking at x and your attribute error, right? So basically, yeah, see, it gave you an attribute error.
Right. I thought I
Oh,
was
string. Oh, right. Yeah. What you got? I think what you got there. I think you got a scoping issue because by the time you try to look at x, you've lost scope.
Okay.
Which is kind of why it's got print x in the middle of that.
Well, I put printf. The
Right.
block itself has.
Yeah. So I think you'd probably have to, if you wanted to actually see that, if you wanted to see that outside of the try except, you'd have to actually store it in a value before you start to try except.
To store, well, but I don't have anything to put in it before I try it.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this point here, I mean, so at this point here, EX is your exception, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes out of the exception, like in your Python console, it's disappeared out of scope.
Okay.
So if you were to say, create a variable up here called, I don't know, E2 or something like that, and store E2 here, I think when you come out of it, you still have E2.
Okay, so if I do, and that's just a string, or
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
string, and actually that's right. Except exception.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now do E2. Oh, right. So I was a little bit mixed up. I think that's actually returning. If you do E2.class, oops. Oops, I did that wrong. Yeah, excuse me, I'll take a moment to remember these things. I tend to look at this about once a year. Oh, it's an attribute error.
So I've got, okay, so these underscores here aren't ones we're replacing.
No.
That's actually
No, that's
class and name.
what that is that's basically telling you the class of EX, and then it's telling you the name of it. So what you're basically getting back is a string.
Is it a string or is it an attribute?
It's attribute error, but in string form.
String capitalized? I guess I'll find out.
Well, I mean by that it's literally a string containing the word. Like if you're in here, right, and you type, I'll put it a better way. If you're in the console and you type attribute error in capital A, dot underscore class underscore.
I see.
And if you do it again to dot name, okay, I didn't come up. I don't think that one came up. Yeah, okay, that wasn't quite what I was after, but I guess that wasn't actually really. Ah, yeah, okay, that worked because that was a class. Yeah.
Okay, so if I go back,
Yeah, because this is a variable instance of the class. That was it. Got it.
thank you.
Okay.
I got thrown off last.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, is anyone stuck on line 36? This was a bit of a gotcha for them. So this is probably something clear to look at. But what's happening here is it's catching an exception, and it's running this class, this underscore class underscore method, and in turn running underscore name underscore nat. This is just basically a conversion process. Basically, Python has some standard internal attributes, and they tend to have to get surrounded by these double underscores. That's completely different to the other double underscore you saw earlier, unfortunately. So that could be confusing. But to demonstrate what's going on there, if we take, for example, a simple string, which I'm showing from the Python console, it has a number of attributes on it. I believe it's dir. Is that right? Yeah, you can see in there if I run dir on it. You can see class there. So if I call the method called the attribute called class, it's going to tell me it's of type string. If I in turn take a class and run name, it's going to tell me what that string is. So basically what you end up with is a string representation of this text, of what this text is a type of. So in this case, there you're going to see, we'll probably show you attribute error and some details, but what it's trying to do is say what is the name of the attribute error. Probably rush ahead and get that to pass so we can see that working. I'm just making it jump straight to that particular column. There we are. So what's shown there is saying the underscore part going in doesn't equal a string representation of what the actual exception class is. I'll hide that because I will admit that's a little confusing. Any further than there? Oh, oh, we went. Sorry, I misunderstood. Cool. Yeah, cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Hmm?
What happens when you reach enlightenment?
When you reach what, sorry?
Enlightenment?
Big things. The language brain fuck starts making sense. No. It's probably lying. Yeah, I got to the enlightenment stage. I'm not glowing or anything. It's disappointing. Oh, which one? Ah, actually that's that one. Okay, yeah, so with that one, if you look at the error itself, notice what the assertion error is. It's saying fill me in doesn't equal attribute error. But notice something about attribute error?
Right.
Apostrophes. Around it. It's a string.
Yes. Okay, so you're saying.
Yeah, so what that's doing is it's taking an exception object. It's asking what its class is, which is attribute error, and then asking what that is in text form. Yeah. So basically, yeah, so it's like that string demonstration I had on the board.
Yeah.
So initially it showed a type, but then you give it the name and you're saying see apostrophes around it because it's a string.
Okay.
Yeah, I must admit, this stage is a little confusing, but I couldn't think of a way to make it not confusing, unfortunately.
Right.
Don't know if I did it again tomorrow, I'd probably come up with a new idea, but.
Okay.
No. No, you don't actually replace underscores there. You just replace the one on the left. You replace the you replace the one you just replaced. Yeah, that's enough. Basically, underscore name underscore is actually a method. Is actually an attribute.
Okay.
That all classes have. Anyone running into problems? Cool.
So it's saying the string is equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I was thinking, what is it? Position. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little weird. I'll come back to it. So I look at it for you like once a year, and if I come back, it's like, got that bit. Oh, so dark. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yeah, so in this case, what's happening is there's some arguments being fed in. Actually, the easiest way to see what that is if you actually look at the console. If you look at the console itself, where you ran the test, it's actually going to show you. It actually kind of shows you there what value it's expecting. So basically, so the way it is the, because this is an exception object and it's telling you about the problem, and basically what's happened is one of the arguments it feeds back is error information, which is this message here.
Correct.
So
here really we're referencing the argument, which is the very first one in the error.
yeah, that's right. So what it's saying,
X args 0.
yeah. So what it's saying is he just wants to know what you usually get, and it should be, well, basically the whole thing is this whole does not match non-type object with no attribute, some method, blah blah blah. But because you don't actually have to say all of that, because this one's going to assert matches, which means you could just give it a section, especially regular expression. So you could just give it a section that clarifies it. Like you could say does not
match or something like that.
Yeah, because say does not match none-type or something like that. Something that seems relevant, and you don't have to actually give it the whole text. As long as you give it the gist.
Something like that, you see?
Yeah, you probably have to surround it in single quotes. You may have to.
Something like this.
Yeah, so you probably have to escape that quote there. So I'll probably put backslash in front of that quote. Yeah, like that. I think that'll work. Not quite. Maybe or a dot, I guess. Yeah.
So what if I were to truncate and just use it does not match what is that?
Yeah, that'll work.
Should, right?
Yeah.
So some fragment.
But nothing would have worked. That probably should have worked. It's just if you do 3 equals to the front and 3 equals to the back, it's a little bit more liberal about what you put inside. It's probably the easiest way to do what we just did. But that would pass the test. I mean, you're just conveying that you understood what the exercise was.
No,
You didn't like that either? That's odd. Maybe it's been a while since I did this. Maybe I'm
so maybe, yeah, you said.
Well, actually, that should be good, because that should have been good, I think. But
And you're saying I should escape that one?
no, not if you do triple equals,
No?
because that will allow you to just have what you like inside. But
Okay.
does not match. Oh, is that different?
Or is it confusing it with?
Does not match. Does not match. Oh, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I think maybe it needs the whole thing.
Just take all of that.
Yeah. So you probably just want to start from where that quote is. Oh, okay. I've just realised what I did wrong. Okay. I had a moment of clarity. Okay. If you want to take that back, should we revert that back to when it was 2 underscores? I think we took the wrong piece. That was the problem. Yeah. If we run that again, I can explain what I did wrong. That's just being dopey. The actual error itself is saying this does not match this. This isn't actually part of the error. This is.
Yeah. Okay.
But basically, you can take any chunk of this,
Yes.
and if you separate it, I think if you can just stick it in double quotes, you're good, because the whole thing's surrounded by double quotes. So you just take that,
Take all of that,
that'll
okay.
work, or take a fraction of that. But if you need to be liberal with the inner quotes, just triple equals on each side is a good way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I have to relearn this every time, because I thought it was 40 year or whatever, and I go, oh, 40 years. Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
So which section were you in?
I was in about none.
Ah, cool.
The third one.
Excellent. About none. Oh, point dimensions. Occasionally, still assert equal, you're going to see assert match, and that's basically a regular expression comparison. So in this case, in about none, you've already counted this, but it was asking for what error information was getting passed with the exception. You could probably get away with just putting a small part of that message, the part that seems relevant, rather than having to type a whole lot. So in this case, we're just using its convenience, but I often use it in the real world if I just want to say, I want to convey the smallest amount of information about text, because if you make it too long, you're likely to end up with a really brittle text that breaks every time someone does a bit of text formatting, which isn't really what you want usually. Also, what you might want to be aware, I think everyone's on break at the moment, so if you If you wanted to take a break, now's a great moment, although of course you can actually take a break whenever you like. If anyone wants to switch over to another session afterwards because they've got what they need, I'm cool with that. No issue there. But I'll hang around anyway, for those who do stay.
Bring up, but for dictionaries, is it better to use single quotes or with these and fill
I don't, honestly.
That is how it is in
Okay.
dictionaries.
Does it say that?
So yeah, I just noticed that's how it is.
I don't think that is a convention. I think it's. I'm just trying to think what I did. I think with me, when I use single quotes or double quotes, it's probably just, I don't know, based on whim on anything. I like single quotes a lot of the time, but sometimes I find myself switching if I end up with a lot of inner apostrophes. Oh, I see what you mean, yeah, I see what you're saying, so there, it did that. I think what probably happened is when I was converting from, have you ever seen Ruby code?
Yeah.
I was probably switching out Ruby symbols.
Oh,
And I probably just happened to use quotes and I was switching out the symbols.
yeah. So you start with the Jones file.
Yeah, so that's probably how we ended up with that weird pattern.
Is there something like symbols in Python?
Nope, nothing like it. Python's all about doing things one way. It doesn't need no stinking symbols. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, keep getting to check. How you getting on, Max? Oh, you're well into it.
Yeah, I started checking and listening after listening to my got to do this code and just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't tell me exactly what to put in every time.
Yeah, for the easy ones, you probably don't need to run it every time.
Yeah. But I just took it into that side.
Mm-hmm. One thing you will find that's a little peculiar is, I think, if you have a series of tests, you know, these things are tests, yeah? If you have a series of those that are wrong, it might show them in alphabetical order rather than order in which they broke. It's kind of a little quirk of how unit test works.
It took me a second to realize earlier. Like actually reading unit test to figure out what you're doing, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't observant enough earlier when they did stuff with the colon, 0:2, because it's like arranged in a list. If you remember that list, you know?
Oh, right.
I
To
wasn't
about,
paying attention at all.
Yeah.
Comments, I was like, what's going on here? I don't understand what's going on stuff here.
yeah.
But I figured it out.
Yeah, when in doubt, I highly recommend hitting the Python docs, you know, documentation. It's pretty much how I figured out the conversions. I'll be right back in a second. I am going to grab a coffee, if there is any. Escape home session.
kicked out.
Hey, still here. So anyone finished yet? It's only 291 of these things. I don't know if anyone will actually reach today, but after you get a certain way into these, they will actually start throwing exercises your way as well. The first one is there's an exercise where the unit test is written for you and you have to write the code for it instead. And it's a unit test check to see if a triangle given 3 arguments is an isosceles, an equilateral, or scaling. A few exercises like that thrown in here and there. Fortunately, they're thrown so far into the test, you don't tend to see them during a workshop session. Now, if you just encounter anything that you think can be improved, I'm always happy to take all requests or suggestions and issues. Oh, tech. Yeah. Yeah. Is it oh, yeah, Q is deck. Yeah. I was pronouncing deck, but I guess the Q is probably the correct way. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the few that ones that I've kind of broken into an actual Python library for that one, I think. I was just trying a little bit too hard to match the Ruby cones there. But exercise about stacks isn't complete with an exercise about queues. I just realised I walked away to get my coffee while still wearing this, so I don't know if everyone could still hear me while I was out the room. Good job I didn't go to the restroom. You captured Python Koans before? Basically, what it is, it's a project on GitHub that can be downloaded, and it's a suite of failing tests that teach making pass basically a quick understanding of Python. There's a Python 2 version and a Python 3 version. They start really ridiculously simple, apart from a couple of anomalies, and they kind of get a lot more advanced to get into them. Yeah, so you can download or check it out with Git or Mercurial.
Yeah, I've done the Python challenge, so
Do you have any help setting up? Already? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thanks. So you're making progress now?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm not very versed on it. It's reading files and so learning a little bit extra on it and all that. And then along the way, then migrate through.
Yeah. Every time I come back to this particular exercise, I go, what the hell? Every year without fail. It's like, yeah, what's that colon over there? It takes me a moment to remember.
Yeah, I think I figured out this. I think
Mhm.
this doesn't exist, so you gotta stop it at the end.
Mhm.
You know, I'm confused between set languages that have a zero index and others that
Mm.
begin with a one. And
Languages that do arrays compared to slices, and
Correct.
which is basically I think what's going on here. It's like, it always gets a little bit different when slices are involved. Ooh, lots of green there. Hmm? Yeah, absolutely. Cheat away. This is all about learning. Where it takes to understand the answers. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's ours and narrow, aren't they? If I don't have too many people on the left wall asking for help, I'd have a problem.
No test method here, just a comment. As a function.
Yeah, pretty much. Hmm? Oh, cool. I'll have to look at these. Wow. Well, it's better to get progress during the actual session, but that's cool. Oh, right. Yeah. Well, actually, the one's actually doing the work, but it might get confusing. But I'll push it later. It's GitHub these days, but I mirror it. It doesn't actually matter if you push to either. Yeah, it's actually easy to mirror between GitHub and Bitbucket. I just basically make sure I have the .git folder and the .hg folder in the same folder. So you push to one, you change code, and it just notices up the files on both sides. So just do a hg push, git push, mirrored. Yeah, actually, we'll post on that. Because I had one person ask me about that once. Yeah, they have that now. I think you have to choose if your repo is Git or Mercurial. I set this up before they've started doing Git. There's also a plugin out there written by the GitHub people that's supposed to manage mirroring. But when I tried it a long time ago, I was having problems with all libraries not playing nicely together. So I found the approach just copying the approach I used was just simple and worked. Mm. Yeah, I'll probably do that now, actually. Yeah. One bad thing about having a Python 2 and Python 3 version is every time I accept a pull request, you have to alter the Python 3 version. There we are. Oh yeah. Hmm? You can. I always forget. It's the worst thing I use them, but I always forget all the things that really make it efficient. I always forget to update my plugins as well. There you go. I just accepted the Git pull request, and now my HG status is showing a difference. That's pretty easy to push up. Oh, I forgot to check up on you. How are you getting on? Oh, I got started.
Yeah, so it started.
Cool.
So it just automatically goes to the next one.
That's right, yes.
Okay.
So basically the idea is it starts with simple and it'll just show all the features of Python.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Hmm?
This one, you said before, it's something like keys.
Mm-hmm.
And also you did one keys on value, so you use that one was the value. Yes, because you said true, you don't really know if that's key or value.
Mm.
Yes. I mean, they said this one. That one.
Mm.
So you did one in table fish keys,
Yeah.
or two in table fish values. So,
Right.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, because it's doing, I'm just remember how it, yeah, because you're doing anything there, it doesn't need the keys. You could do that, I guess it's just probably just more of a sane usage, I think. But yeah, with a bit of both. I don't know if you have any suggestions and we'll push them up. I can always throw it in.
Honestly, half the time I get suggestions which are just like, you know, just a matter of opinion. I go, yeah, cool. More people involved in the project. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'd have to some Python 2 and Python 3 flavor. Nice. Happy screen full of green now, Isaac? Yeah, look at that green. You think you've done the coast before? Yeah, I don't know if that one gives you any trouble. It's a bit of a gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's confusing, but I had a choice between confusing when I put that one together. Ooh, yeah. More green. Even the text is green. It's one way of getting to your happy place. Oh, yeah.
There is no keyboard shortcut there.
Oh, yeah, an attribute.
It's one of those wonderful
Mm-hmm.
people should do with keyboards. Okay, so this was underscores before,
Yeah.
but I didn't know what else to make it equal.
Oh, that's correct. I think all I'm trying to get across here is if you want a single tuple item, it has to have that comma. That's all it's getting across. It's initially, when you, certainly from my perspective, when I first looked at that, I was a little bit surprised about the comma.
It looks
Until I realised that if you don't have the comma, I think it thinks it's something else. I can't remember what now.
an integer.
Yeah,
or whatever
that's right.
that
It thinks
would be
it's
string.
just parens rather than a tuple. So that's all the purpose of it. I think there will be a few exercises like that where it looks pretty much the same on both sides.
Okay. And I guess this one here.
Yeah. Guess it comes down to I couldn't think of a smarter way to write that test.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, cool. Going good? Sweet. Ah. Lots of green. Lovely. Oh, yeah. Hmm? So, you know, it's only go to... Ooh, it's not going to get self-aware, is it? I have to fit that with an Asimov. Yeah, thank you. Let's mention pink in the brain. I did some work on something called JavaScript Koans as well. And the thing I introduced was a pinky in the brain test. One of the things. Yeah, because I think I was to do recursion things. I something like pinky in the brain. Is it going? Hmm? Non-existent. Non-existent. Mm. I live in Grove City. It'd be too expensive. It's like they wouldn't let me back in the country probably with the London Olympics going.
Where do you see
Grove City, south of the city. Yeah. Yeah, I've been living here about getting on for 9 years, but there's two types of people in this world. There's people whose accents change according to where they are at any given time, and there's the people whose accents never change. I'm one of those. Mm. 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 So what? Hmm. On top of it, you start saying Irish at that rate. So I don't know. I just expect the stereotype of your Irish nun, you know, so Irish Catholics. Ouch. Mhm. Ah. Yeah, I like Texas. Hmm? No, I've not been to Boston, to Austin. I've been to San Antonio. Yeah, went out there to visit a friend. It was just like, wow, it's peaceful. Hmm. Yeah, that's a weird thing. I mean, yeah, to me, it just feels like massive, massive area of suburb, but it's not suburbs. It's not kind of like, you know. Mm. 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 Ah, you think that's strange? I used to live kind of around Hampshire way in England, and my parents have retired recently, so they've moved to a part of the country called Cornwall. You know what part that is? Yeah, so it's like right in the corner. So if I visit them, I feel more of a foreigner in Cornwall than I do in America. It's very, it's not typical. It's because yes, it's got its own strong accent. It's very rural, so people don't move around so much. It feels more like, I don't know, it feels more Ireland than England, really. For a bunch of Irish who couldn't swim. They've got their own flag. There's actually their own language. I think government websites have to support show it in Gaelic or something as well as. It's just, it's a different world. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, Ireland's actually further from England than France. Weird, but true. Yeah, I never think of that as a kid. I never thought that as a kid because, you know, it just felt like this, you always see it on the map as its own section away from Europe, but it's like, France is just so close. Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. If you've seen the American version of Top Gear, I don't know, it's funny for the wrong reasons. It's just like, wow, they've copied all the details except they completely failed to be funny. They're afraid to slag off companies in that, slag anything off, aren't they? It's like wow, you took notes, but you didn't quite understand what Top Gear was. That's exactly it. I mean, the appearance of Top Gear is almost identical. It just lacks the personality. Yeah. If they'd hired the right people and took away the constraints, I think it would have been a great show. But they could. I guess they just couldn't. Yeah, I don't say like that. It's shockingly, I think a couple of years ago I took up drums. I had this electronic set, and the weird thing is I found is buying really expensive triggers didn't actually make me a good drummer. It's just, who'd have thought it? I'm still a lousy drummer. It's getting better, but.
Yeah, about 10 minutes.
Oh, right, okay.
A little bit.
Mhm. Okay. Hey guys, we've got our 10-minute warning. Although there's no to stop you guys going. If any of you want to do more, there's no to stop you going off and doing some Koans elsewhere. You're welcome to throw questions at me on Twitter or in person or whatever, or email me after the event. Or get each other to help. Also, if you really want a quiet room, I think the other tutorial room is going to be completely vacant after this. I'll probably go and check out Kenneth's talk. I'm curious. Hmm? One more time.
The latitude and longitudes for the location.
Oh, longitude and latitude, right? Yeah, I need visuals.
They don't seem to be anywhere. Like,
Oh. Oh, you want to know that? You want to know the significance of it?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch Lost?
No, I don't.
Ah, it's a Lost reference. Basically,
the numbers,
there's an
yeah.
anonymous number which is a lottery ticket that's supposed to be extremely unlucky. And one thing that occurred to me at one point is you could turn them to GPS coordinates, and I noticed it's just some middle. I was interested to notice it did actually land on a landmass. When you think about it, that's not actually entirely probable, is it? Because most of the world is water.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just me being a geek.
Okay. I just
No, yeah. Yeah, that would have worked as well. Put it on the White House. You ever read Illuminati?
I try here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, I had some disappointing news about that yesterday. I was talking to people about saying how I want to make the next bounty plate for Nord. I don't know if you came across for Nord in the book. Apparently it's taken. Pity. Should probably take this off, I guess.